What is going on, you guys? For today's video, I'm going to be discussing the 2019 Shelby GT500. A new video from Stangmode shows Jim Owens telling us what Venom Kills Demons means.
Venom Kills Demons.
And also almost losing my job.
For Venom Kills Demons, yeah.
But that's not all. This month, Jim Owens leaked another piece of information about the car. And believe me, it's a huge deal. So in this video, I'm going to carefully examine what was said by Jim Owens. And I'm also going to discuss his latest leak. But before we do that, let me first give you a background. Now, as most of you know, back in January this year, Jim Owens, the Ford Performance marketing manager, made the bold statement that Venom kills demons.
Venom Kills Demons.
This was a big deal. What Jim was saying was essentially the GT500 will outperform the Dodge Demon. And whether he meant that directly or not, it sent shockwaves in the car world. Now, if you'd like to see the full video where I analyze what Jim said, be sure to check out my previous video. I'll leave a link in the description. So that was back in January. And ever since then, we really haven't heard that much from Jim. When Ford invited me to their special event in New York to test drive the new Performance Pack Level 2, I was looking forward to meeting Jim Owens and asking him what he meant by that statement. There were several employees there involved with the Mustang brand, but Jim Owens was mysteriously absent. You would think he would be at an event dealing with a performance-oriented Mustang. So I asked Carl Widman, the Mustang chief engineer, what does Venom Kills Demons mean?
Can you tell me, what does Venom Kills Demons mean?
Huh? Venom Kills Demons.
Venom Kills Demons. Jim Owens said that?
Oh, I don't know. I'll talk to Jim.
Okay.
I later on asked Carl why Jim Owens wasn't at the event, and he basically told me that Jim is more involved with the Ford Performance brand. So now that I've given you a background, this is where Stangmode comes into the equation.
Let's go.
Stangmode was also at the event, and just like me, he wanted to find out the meaning of Venom Kills Demons. So he decided to go to the Ford Nationals in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. It's an all-Ford event where over 3,000 vehicles show up, and different events take place throughout the day. At one point, Jim Owens gave a presentation on the Ford GT. He was discussing how technologically advanced the car is. Stangmode quickly realized this was a perfect opportunity to ask Jim Owens about the Venom Kills Demons quote. He starts out by asking how much of the technology from the Ford GT will be incorporated in the new GT500.
I can't say specifically what's in there, but the men and women who worked on this program are working on the GT500 program.
This is definitely exciting news to hear. The same people involved with the Ford GT program are also involved with the GT500 program. So it's very possible that some of the advanced features found on the GT will make their way onto the next GT500.
In the same shop, in the same building, right next to the Ford GTs and the Raptors, and weird as this sounds, the autonomous and the electric.
Okay.
So we have all of those in the same
harmony.
buildings. Yeah.
So at this point, Stangmode was ready to pop the question, what does Venom Kills Demons mean?
You do know you're internet famous for
Venom Kills Demons. So we're on our way.
I know.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
and also almost losing my job.
for Venom Kills Demons, yeah.
So according to Jim, he almost lost his job for that statement. That just shows you how serious Ford is about keeping tight-lipped about upcoming products.
Okay.
No, but yeah. So I said that specifically.
Yes.
I did not mention torque, horsepower.
Exactly.
I didn't mention performance numbers. And I mean, Carol always believed he woke up in a dream. Where's Scott so I can verify this? Woke up in a dream, and that's where the Cobra came to him, right?
Wow.
Venom kills everything.
So now it's Venom Kills Everything. Jim says that Carol Shelby came up with the Cobra name in a dream, and that's exactly right.
My name's Carol Shelby, and performance is my business.
Apparently, Carol Shelby once had a dream where he saw the name Cobra on the front of a new car, and when he woke up, he jotted the name down on a notepad which he kept beside his bed. When he woke up the next morning, he looked at the notepad and he knew it was right. But what I couldn't find was a direct quote of him saying, Venom kills everything. I searched online to see if I could find any information on the quote, but after doing some searches, nothing showed up. But even so, it doesn't mean that Carol never said these words. It's possible that he said these words in private to the Ford employees. Sadly, Carol Shelby passed away in 2012. So we may never know where this quote came from, but hopefully someday I'll have the opportunity to talk to Jim Owens about this quote.
Woke up in a dream and that's where the Cobra came to him, right?
Wow.
Venom kills everything.
Gotcha.
So if demons were real,
Okay, I got
Venom
you.
would kill it.
So let's review Jim's explanation. He made the quote, "Venom kills demons," back in January, but he's saying that the reason he said that was because Carol Shelby came up with the Cobra name in a dream, and the reason that Shelby liked the Cobra name was because Venom kills everything. But it's unclear whether this quote is coming from Carol Shelby or Jim Owens. But Jim isn't done talking about the car, and what he says in the rest of this interview is very important information.
So Carl Widman, who's the chief engineer for the Mustang, all the way up now through the GT350 and GT500, you're going to be like really blown away by what it is capable of.
So keep this in mind. Jim says we're going to be blown away by what this car is capable of. The way I interpret this is that the next GT500 will be unlike any we've seen before. Capable of doing things we'd never expect.
I'm excited. You can tell. Yeah, slip. The thing I got in trouble was, well, Venom Kills Demons, but because now my PR community got really excited. But then the second thing was, I said that, I wasn't allowed to be riding in it, and then later in the statement, I fessed up that I was actually, when I was in it.
I've ridden in one. It will definitely meet those requirements.
And I said that by mistake, and I was not supposed to have been in the cars yet.
When I saw this part of the interview, I thought that Jim meant he wasn't allowed to drive one yet. But according to him, he contradicted himself and did admit he was riding in one. Now, this last part of the interview is probably the most important. From out of nowhere, Jim brings up the Dodge Demon.
You're a cult hero. You're still a cult hero for that. So
the Demon does one thing, and it does it real well.
Look at Jim's body language. You can tell he's really excited about the car, but he's being very cautious in what he says. So Jim says the Demon is good at one thing. So then Stangmode replied with this.
And the GT500 is going to do everything well.
You know how they say actions speak louder than words? The way that Jim reacts to this question, he's smiling, he's rubbing his hands together, he's doing everything in his power to keep from blurting something out.
You're not getting. I know. I'm trying. I'm trying.
The interview ends with Jim saying they're still knee-deep in development for the car, which is a little disappointing, but if the car is anything like the way Jim describes it, it's worth the wait. Now, remember when I said Jim leaked an important piece of information? Well, this is where everything we've seen ties together. On June 1st, Ford NXT published an article where they asked Jim Owens 5 questions. Now, if you'd like to check it out, I'll leave a link in the description. In question 4, Jim Owens gives an important piece of information about the GT500. Here's the question that was asked. Speaking of Bullet, it is joining a crowded Mustang field, including 2 performance packs, a GT350, and soon a GT500. How does it slot in, and why are so many choices viable? Now, this question wasn't really directed towards the GT500. It was simply asking, why does Ford make so many variations of Mustangs? And Jim had a good response. We've done this over a period of time with various packages, from Boss 302 to GT California Special to Pony Package to Shelby GT. There is a desire from the consumer that is strong enough to have those derivatives make both business sense and from the customer satisfaction sense to fulfill the demand. But here is where it really gets interesting. Whether it's the new GT500 that we've teased, that has different levels of performance. Different levels of performance? It all makes sense now. Jim was saying how Venom kills everything.
Venom kills everything.
And he also made a point of talking about the Demon and how it's only good at going in a straight line.
The Demon does one thing, and it does it real well.
Why was that even brought up? And when he was asked if the GT500 will be good at everything, he just smiled maniacally while rubbing his hands together. So based off what Jim has told us, the GT500 will not only have different levels of performance, but it will also kill everything, including the Demon. What does Jim mean when he says different levels of performance? Is there going to be a drag pack available? Is there going to be a track-ready version like a GT500R? Or maybe they'll even have a base GT500 that isn't oriented to either one, allowing the customer to build the car however they'd like. These are questions I want to find the answers to. And Jim, if you're watching this, I would really appreciate the opportunity to ask you these questions. Everyone is so excited about this car, and hearing these details from you makes us even more excited. So what do you guys think about these remarks? Do Do you think the GT500 will kill everything? Will there be different versions of the GT500 available? I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below, and thanks so much for watching this video. And also, thanks so much to Stangmode for asking Jim these questions. Make sure to check out his original video. I'm NeoAuto, and thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you next time.